Panginoong Diyos, aming Ama, ang Diyos ng awa at mapagpatawad. Ang biyaya mo ay tunay at lubos, walang katulad at banal. Ngayong Kapaskuhan at nalalapit na bagong taon, inaalala namin ang tunay na regalo sa sangkatauhan. Pinagkaloob mo ang iyong anak na si Jesus upang kami na naniniwala ay maligtas sa aming mga kasalanan at sa kamatayan. Marami sa amin ang nalulungkot at nangungulila sa mga mahal namin sa buhay na nawala dahil sa COVID virus, sakuna at mga sakit. Pakinggan niyo po ang aming mga panalangin at panaghoy. Kalamayin niyo po ang aming mga puso at bigyan ng lingap at kapayapaan kaming mga naulila at nahihirapan. Naway ang kalooban niyo po ang maghari at maganap. Ikaw po ang tunay at may alam ng bawat kalagayan ng iyong mga anak. Espiritu Santo, o aming Diyos, datnan mo po kaming tapat at naglilingkod sa iyo. Ito ang aming samot panalangin na may buong pusong pagtitiwala sa ngalan ng Ama, Anak, at Espiritu Santo. Amen.
Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kanta at programang Tatak Pinoy. Napapanood at napapakinggan kahit saan ka man. Streaming worldwide in South Manila. This is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. Dahil mahal namin kayo.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station. Here now is the program for the millennials that will showcase young professionals' worth, aspirations, and successes in doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erica Mizon, together with her fellow millennials, they will be making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, Manila.
Good afternoon, everyone. You are now tuned into Making a Difference. This is a show created to inspire and motivate the youth of today. My name is Erica Mison, and I will be your host and online friend. Happy New Year, everyone! We're finally here in the new year. It's 2021. I know a lot of us have been waiting for the new year to arrive, and it's finally here. I'm very excited for the new year. I'm also excited for news. Could tune in and stick around till till we move forward with making a difference. So I hope you're all doing well and you're all staying safe. And if you're watching live right now, I want to know what your plans are for the new year. So comment down below, and later on during the show, we'll have some of your comments pop up because I want to know what you guys have planned or have in store. So go ahead, feel free to comment all your plans, career-wise or education. You're entering college, maybe you're starting a new course, starting a new job, starting a new business. I want to know what you guys have planned for 2021. Okay, so this is the first ever episode of the year for Making a Difference. And before we get into our guests for today, we actually have a really amazing guests, and I'm so excited for this episode. But I just want to recap a bit. It's been a while since we've had a live episode for Making a Difference. So the last episode was actually last year, the week before Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. So we had Project Kapwa on the show. We had Lance and Rolsey to represent the organization. So Project Kapwa is a youth organization that's very centered on volunteerism. So they spread awareness and compassion through their projects para sa kapwa. So that's their tagline, para sa kapwa. You can actually check them out on Facebook. They're actually a new org. They started, I think they're around a year already, if I'm not mistaken. And we actually partnered with them. So our youth organization here in the barangay actually partnered with Project Kapwa during the typhoon last year. Yes. So we were able to raise funds for the victims of the different typhoons actually that happened last year. So that's how I got to know about Project Kapwa. They were the ones who approached our youth organization here in our barangay, and we were able to raise a lot of funds. So again, if you want to check that out, we have the poster here on Making a Difference. You can also check out again Project Kapwa if you want to partner with them, if you want to volunteer for them. Go ahead, reach out to them, and you will get an answer right away. They're looking for new people, young leaders to help them out with their organization. So that happened last episode, which is last year already. I can't believe we're in the new year. So now for this episode, sorry, by the way, before I forget, if you want to watch that episode or the previous episodes starting from season 1, you can find them here on Making a Difference Facebook Facebook page. So all my episodes, ever since day one, episode one, season one of Making a Difference, it's here. You can totally see the difference. But yeah, you can find that on the Making a Difference Facebook page. So now for today's episode, for the very first episode of the year of Making a Difference, since it's the new year, I know everyone, of course, is so they have a list. I'm very sure you have a list, your New Year's resolution list. You have your plans for the year. You set your goals for the year, and since it's the new year, I decided to invite a couple of coaches, actually, and they're here to talk about, of course, what they do as coaches. We have different coaches, so we'll get to that later on. Don't get too excited, but we'll get to that. We'll get there. And they're here to share their insights and their thoughts. And if you have any questions for them, please feel free to comment them down below so that we can ask the coaches your questions. Okay, so our very first coach, he's a young coach. Actually, he's a young life coach. And he's here to talk about what's it like being a life coach at such an early age. And you'll get to find out what he does exactly as a life coach. So I would like to introduce to you Coach Tony Espiritu. Hi, Coach Tony.
Hi, thanks for inviting me here, Erica.
There we go. How are you?
Doing great. Doing fine in this lovely afternoon here in Calamba, Laguna.
That's good. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're Calamba, Laguna. Yay, South.
Yes.
South people. All right. So go ahead. Go ahead. Tuloy. Feel free to introduce yourself. Let us know what you do, where you graduated from. Okay, we know that you're from Calamba, Laguna, but then what have you already accomplished now?
All right, so for those who don't know me, well, I'll start by saying my name. Hi, I'm Tony Espiritu. I'm currently 24 years old. And as I mentioned earlier, I live here in Calamba, Laguna. But I'm currently a certified life coach. I graduated way back in 2017 in the University of Asia and the Pacific with a college degree of Human Capital Development. So that's small bits and pieces of me. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Human capital development, right?
Mhm.
What is
Yes.
human capital development?
Haven't had someone ask me that in a while, but hopefully my professor doesn't kill me for this. But essentially, human capital development is, if you think about where we are in the human resource department, we mainly focus on training and development or organizational development. And we mainly do trainings or we try to help around in human resources to find out what we can do for employee engagement, or as well as find different trainings for the different employees. I hope I did my course justice.
Okay, because I've never have I heard human. No, I think this is the first time I have heard human capital development as a course.
Yes.
Usually, no, it's
So,
like HR.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the usual.
Yeah, it was a relatively new course at the time when I enrolled in UNP. I was like the third batch in when the course got started going in UNP. But yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's why. Okay, so it's very new. And the courses in UANP are
Yes.
different. Different in a way. I mean, there are some, some. Okay. So, but again, what I like about UANP, there are some courses, right, where you can also get your master's degree already.
Yes.
Like you graduate with 2 degrees, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. But can you do that with human capital development?
During my time, no, because there is no master's degree yet. But if I recall correctly, there just been recently implemented that there is a master's degree in human capital development, and I believe I plan to get that in the future, possibly. But as of now, well, I want to focus first on being a certified life coach or life coach, actually.
Okay. All right. So, before being a life coach,
Mhm.
what did you do after you graduate college? After you
Okay.
graduated? Yeah.
So after I graduated college, I had my first job as a HR and finance associate in a startup advertising agency. Essentially, I was doing HR generalized work or just HR, just basic HR work. Like for example, handling the 201 files for any of our audience members who are in HR. I think they would know what the 201 files are. But essentially, these are the files for each employees, like this involves like their certificate of employment or like all their different government all these government documents like their SSS, Phil Health, like EDIC, all the TIN, all the files that you would need for the information of the employee. Um, I would also assist with regards to a little bit of recruitment here and there. I would also post the job ads for where if the company needed it at the time. Um, and I would also help with the finances of the company as well as releasing of the payroll. And that's a good segue to what I did as a finance officer also, because I was the one in charge of looking at how much funds we have at the time, because we were a startup advertising agency. And I was also in charge of going to our different clients to pick up the cash payments or the check payments, depending on what our clients would pay. And yeah, I would also go to the different banks to pay for our different payments, for example, the monthly taxes and whatnots. But yeah, that's mainly the gist of what I did after I graduated college. So I stayed there for just 10 months because there was an opportunity that that arose from another company, and I was supposed to be a trainer. So I resigned from there, and a week after I resigned, the company that called me and told me that I passed and I was supposed to go make it to become a trainer, told me that they found someone more qualified, so they will not push through with my application, which is in hindsight is 2020. That's a bit unethical in in my opinion. I'm not sure if anyone shares that, but yeah. So
Mm.
after that, well, I did soul searching and a little bit of job hunting as well, and I ended up with Unilab, but as their project-based employee under OD, so or the organizational development. So somewhat similar to my course in human capital development, and I was there for just a year. And once my contract was up, I applied. I was now in another company, a BPO also, and I was working as first as a talent acquisition, or that's basically recruitment. And then after that, after when the pandemic hit or when ECQ started, I got transitioned to employee relations, which is basically if you think the stereotypical HR person, like the person you go to for if you have any problems or would you for like anything employee related, or if you want to file leaves, normally that's where you would go to ask HR.
Mm.
And yeah, so I resigned because there were some, I won't go into details, but I had some family issues at home at the time that I needed to help my family over here. And yeah, so around the time also, like by September, like last year, that's when I decided to become a life coach. And I've been a life coach ever since.
Okay. So, speaking of life coaches, you have a lot. While I was listening to you, you have a lot of viewers right now.
Oh,
They're in the
yes.
comment section. Yeah, I could see them. I
Really
think
good.
these are your co-coaches. Is that I don't know. What do you call your colleagues? co-coaches?
Mm,
Coach
I would
also,
call
not
them second family also, but they're also coaches as well.
no, coaches.
I
Yeah.
see that we have Master Coach Hasmin. Hi, Master Coach. My different team members as well, Coach Candy, Coach Mao, Coach Trisha.
A
Hi,
lot.
everyone. Thanks for joining me today as well.
Hi everyone. Hi coaches. Nice to meet you. All right. So we have a lot of fans today, which is
Yeah.
really great. That means you're a good coach. Okay, so um what is a what does a life coach do exactly?
Okay.
What is the definition of
Okay.
a life coach?
Okay. So I guess that's a very good question to ask, considering that a lot of people usually, when they think of life coach, sometimes they think of it as either a mentor or a therapist or someone to ask for advice. If I recall this correctly, a life coach is we're not mentors, nor therapists, nor counselors, but we are in the profession who works with our different clients and help them to set personal or professional goals and overcoming those obstacles so that they can make necessary changes in their lives. So essentially, we're almost like accountability partners in a sense, where we help journey with our clients as well. So I guess a good example would be, I'm pretty sure everyone knows basketball, right?
Yeah.
And in basketball, each team has a coach.
Yeah.
So the coach knows each player's strengths and weaknesses and knows how the game would play. Whereas the players themselves, they know their own strengths and weaknesses, but they don't know where to go. So in over the course of the game, the coaches help direct players on where to go. If for example the ball would go to player A, then the coach would figure out which player would be suited for going to the player A. Whereas if it's player B, C, D, and E, so on and so forth, yeah. So basically, the coach helps you get from point A to point B as the accountability partner.
Right, right. Okay. And all right. So again, if you have any questions for Coach Tony, feel free to comment down below and we
Mhm.
are gonna ask Coach Tony. We're gonna put his life coaching skills to the test. Just
Oh
kidding.
God. Okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding. So okay, being a life coach, is there a specific track that you
Hmm.
coach in? I'm not sure if that's the right term.
Like.
But there are financial coaches,
Mhm.
there are career coaches.
Mhm.
But when you say life coach, that's very general. So
Mhm.
you
Very.
personally, do you have a certain track when it comes to coaching?
Mm, Well, the thing is, for us life coaches, and I would refer back to a person whom I look up to. Her name is Master Coach Adet Porto, or we call her Master Coach A. How she quotes it is that there is no there is no prerequisite to becoming a life coach. And what I mean by that is anyone can be a life coach. Whether you are a mom, you can be a life coach. Whether you're a banker, you can be a life coach. Whether you're in HR, you can be a life coach. Even you, Erica, you can be a life coach as an anchor. But you use those skills and experiences, and you have that wanting to help people. So in my case, I like growing up. I felt different in a way, wherein I wanted to help people, but I didn't know how. It actually goes back to me being wanting to be a psychiatrist and a clinical psychologist prior to becoming a life coach. And I had an epiphany way back in college wherein I couldn't handle the super extreme cases of personality uh, disorders, and but I still wanted to help. So what would be the best way to go about it? And I decided to become a life coach. So it's more about using your talents, your knowledge, your expertise, your experiences, and making that jump to be a life coach. Now, it's one to say that you can be just a life coach in practice, but it's different if you are a certified life coach because that way you can say like you can put into practice what you preach. It's kind of like and I think a better example, just to visualize what I'm trying to say here, is imagine a doctor. When he's certified, or when he finally has his license to practice his whatever he wants to practice, whether it be a medical doctor or a psychiatric doctor. He has the knowledge, experiences, and the license to back it up. Now, can he still practice becoming a doctor without a license? Maybe, but maybe as a consultant, but not like practice legally. But yeah. So yes, that in my opinion is the difference between, I guess, being a life coach.
Mhm.
I hope that
Okay.
answers your question.
No, yeah. Actually, I have another question in mind,
Sure.
but I think I already know the answer to it.
Mhm.
Seeing all your the other coaches here, I was going to ask you if do do life coaches also have coaches, but I think we already know the answer to that. No.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
It's normal for us coaches to also have coaches because we also have our own individual blind spots, or what we want to do, or what goals we set ourselves. And sometimes there are certain things about ourselves, and it's true for everyone. We have things that we we have our own fears, we have our own blocking points. We have those things that makes us say we can't do it. But in our heart we want to do something. Like for example, I want to save money, or I want to get a college degree, or I want to work to get like a PC or something, or to save up. But there are certain things, or certain things in our, whether it be past experiences or traumas, that makes us feel like we can't do it. So sometimes we can ask a coach for help, or any accountability partner really, to ask for
Mhm.
in order to get what we want.
Right. So you mentioned the word goals.
Mm-hmm.
A while ago, before I introduced Coach Tony, I asked the viewers if any of you have your own personal goals for the year, your New Year's resolution, and I want to see what you have planned. So feel free to comment them down below. I actually saw quite a few a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
If we could pull one up, okay, Marius
Oh,
Lane.
Marius.
Oh, you know Marius?
Yes, indeed. He's college friend of mine, Veronica.
Okay. Hi, Mario. So,
Hi,
okay, Marius
Marius.
commented. Um, she said, sorry, is it a she or he?
It's a
I
he.
can see the phone. Sorry. It's to do good for others by writing and maybe showcasing stories of fiction. There we go.
Mhm.
But bound by truth. Kind of too philosophical, but yes, that's the goal this year and the next. And then he goes on. There's another comment. New
Okay.
Year goal to do good, to tell the truth or at least not lie, and to take
Mhm.
every opportunity I can grab and take responsibility of my life and whatever God allows me to have. So these are
Mhm.
great. It's nice to see that people are really setting their goals and setting their resolutions for the new year. Coach Tony, what do you think of New Year's resolutions, or like having your own goals for the, or actually having
Mhm.
your own goals in general, because it shouldn't just be
Mhm.
in the beginning of the new year, right? I
Right.
believe you have goals all the time. So
Yes.
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, in my case, for most of us, we talk about something like New Year, New Me, or like New Year's resolutions, but I'm pretty sure most of us don't follow through with it. Like, um, I'm like Erica. Do you have? I'm pretty sure you have New Year's resolutions, but do you follow them? Or if you look back in your previous years, do you follow some of them?
The past couple of years, it
Not
was hard.
really. Mhm.
Yes. Now though, I've been sticking to it. Good first week of January, so
All right.
hopefully, yeah.
And sorry to ask one more question. And why do you think it's hard to follow through or push through with um, life, or like New Year's resolutions?
That's a good question. I think this is the first. I think this is the only time I'm being asked a question. Okay, no, but I like it. I like that's a good. That's a very very good question. Makes you think.
Right? Mhm.
But in my case, or personally, I think we have a difficult time following
Mhm.
through, because I guess there are some times na, how do I explain? You're so focused, and then something happens in the middle of it, and you get very distracted, and then you're all like, okay, what do I do now? I don't know where to put myself. I don't know what to
Right.
do. Well, this is me personally, based on
Mhm.
experience. Or there are other priorities that come up all of a sudden,
Mhm.
and you have to reevaluate things. So I guess that's a reason why
Right.
we tend to sidetrack from our goals.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it totally does. When we think of New Year's resolutions, we tend to think of what would be good to have for this year, or what our own personal goals. It basically reflects on what we want for this year, and sometimes we sometimes we don't write it down, or sometimes it's just in the back of our
Mhm.
heads, but we
Mhm.
tend to not think about it for the entire year.
Yeah.
So to put it back to the question of what are my thoughts on New Year's resolutions, for me personally, it's a very, I guess it's a, how do I word this? It's a very like out there goal that we want to have. Like for example, I want to gain weight, or I want to build muscle, or I want to be more financially stable or financially sound,
Yeah.
but it's not concrete enough. It's not something that we can anchor ourselves in. I mean, there are some New Year's resolutions that we sometimes push through, but
Yeah.
I guess the question I'd like to ask everyone is it something that you just thought up, or is it something that you really want talaga? Or something
Mhm.
that you anchor yourself to so that you can motivate yourself moving forward for the next 12 months?
Mhm. That's actually a good way to think about your New Year's resolution.
Mm.
By the way, again, I'm gonna keep on saying this. If you guys have any questions for Coach Tony and later on for the other coaches, please feel free to comment them down below. I actually saw a couple of questions for
Mhm.
you, Coach
Mhm.
Tony. By Tabawan Bongao, a
Mhm.
frequent viewer of Making a Difference. How do you become a certified life coach?
Mm.
What are the
Okay.
requirements and procedures? Good question. Yes, yes. So how?
So there are different ways to go about being a certified life coach. The route I took is so I'll mention this later, but I guess to mention it now. Um, it started with 3 years ago by a good friend of mine. His name is Burns, and he showed me the Coach A coaching community, which they had a life coaching 101 session to find out what life coaching is or what life coaching isn't. And then at the very end, at the very end of that, if I recall correctly, there was a certification class, um, and so that you can become a certified life coach. At the time, I couldn't afford it because it's something that I really wanted to do. But I made it a goal of mine to save up for it, and 2 years later, I went for it. So that's one way I would have gone for it. Oh, for what's his name again? Tabawan.
Tabawan Bongao.
For
Yeah.
you, Tabawan, if you want to follow the route I took, you can contact Coach Rizal, or you can contact the number 0917 586 1661. Yeah, I have that memorized. Yeah. So you can go through either Master Coach A, or you can go to Life Coach Philippines. They have a Facebook page, and you can message them, or message or contact the number that I just mentioned. But
Okay.
but I think we will mention this later also. And I think Coach Candy also posted on the comment section. Ah, yes, there.
Yeah.
So you can scroll down through. You can ask the different life coaches here in that are in the comment section also.
Yeah.
They'll help directly there also.
Okay. Yeah, I know we have a lot of life coaches here with me.
Mhm.
I just want to say hi to, because there were a couple who said hi to me personally. So I just want to say hi to Coach Candy. Tama ba? Candy Teng.
Yeah, Candy. Mhm.
And then hello, Coach Hasmin. Oh, I think this is the master coach,
Yeah. Mhm.
Coach
Master Coach
Hasmin.
Hasmin and
Am I right? Yeah.
Master
Okay.
Coach.
Cool.
I didn't
Yep.
work. That's Master Coach. Mhm.
Okay. And
Another way
Coach Maureen.
oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Yes, Coach Mel.
No, go
Hi.
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so another way is so that's one way that you can be certified. Another way is if you really, really are very passionate or you really, really have that heart to be a life coach. Another way is to go to the ICF or the International Coaching Federation. I'm not so I don't have my toes dipped into them, but it's one other way. If you can just research, if you can do your own personal research as well, you can find different organizations that you can be a certified life coach. But or you can take the certification, become a life coach. But there is no one way because we are there. Life coaching is not, I guess it's not centralized. What I mean by that, it's kind of like if there is no governing body, so to speak.
Mhm. Okay.
So right now as we speak, there is no governing body when it comes to life coaching because it's relatively new and it's something that's very much growing at a very fast pace. So right now it's still growing. So you can take different routes, but the route I took is via Life Coach Philippines. Mhm.
Okay. So there you go. If any of you actually would want to be a certified life coach, if Coach Tony here inspired you to become a life coach, check out the comment section down below by Coach Candy. You can contact Life Coach Philippines. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if ever you wanna become a certified life coach, feel free to reach out to them. Or even
Mhm.
Coach Tony. Feel free
Yes,
to
of
reach out to
course.
Coach Tony too. Okay, so a few days ago when we
Yes.
were having
Mhm.
our tech run,
Mhm.
we were talking about you as a life coach, and
Mhm.
you usually talk to those who are younger. So
Mhm.
by the way, Coach Tony is 24. So you
Yes.
would talk to those are younger, those those who are
In
about to graduate high school, right?
yes.
And they're not entirely sure on what
Mhm.
course. So at that age bracket.
Yes. So that
Uh,
age bracket. Mhm.
yeah.
So people who are about to
What
graduate high school or
advice
graduate
would
college.
you give?
Yes.
Yeah. So what advice would you, let's say, okay, I'm not sure if we have people
Mhm.
watching who are in that age range, but what
Mhm.
advice would you um s- give to, let's say, okay, I'm a graduating high school student, and I go to you and I'm like, Coach Tony, I don't know what course to take, please help me, what
Mhm.
do I do? What would you recommend?
I can give two answers. One as a life coach and one as someone who's been through the same boat as well. So I guess I
Okay.
can start first with my personal experience or my
Mm,
me as a me who experienced that growing up. Um, Find something that can you can think of it in two ways. One, something that's easy for you that you really want to do, or two, something that's based on your own financials or what you can do.
okay.
In regards to if I were to answer you as a life coach, and here's the tricky part because us life coaches we can't give advice because
Okay.
we really can't. It's not how we are in regards to profession.
Mhm.
So to answer that question, I would bounce back and say, what is it that makes your heart sing, or what is it that makes you really excited to wake up for the day, and makes you really excited to do the thing that you want to do. When
Mhm.
you answer that question, then you can find out what that specific course may not necessarily be here in the Philippines, maybe it's outside the country, but it doesn't hurt to try and do a little bit of research as well.
Okay. Follow-up question to that. So,
Sure.
well, okay. Normal in college. Well, I didn't shift. You didn't shift, but
Mhm.
it's normal to shift out to a different course. Let's say,
Mhm,
okay,
mhm,
so I followed your what you recommended. Okay, I found this course and like
mhm,
I'm a year in, but I'm thinking of shifting out.
mhm, mhm.
Is that, what would you recommend to me? What would you say if I were to tell you that?
Okay. So first, I'd obviously want to know what made you decide to shift, or
Mm,
what was the difference from the time that you wanted to get that course that you want, like in the start of your college career or your college life, and
mm,
what is it different from then to now, wherein you wanted to shift? So once I find out that answer,
mm,
I would like to ask you, um, how what is your what motivated you, or what's the I guess what's the underlying factor as to why? It's really different for different people when
mm.
I talk to them, but and it's really on a case by case basis. But that's the general gist of my line of questioning, so that I can
Mm.
help them.
Okay, so if I were to answer your question, I already have an answer in mind. So
Sure.
to answer your question, I started college and the course that I entered is really great. But then I met others from that course that I
Mm,
like,
mm,
and everything that they would tell me sounds so fun, and I feel like it's something I would want to do and explore. So that's why I want to shift.
okay. So I guess it's kind of like, if I understand this correctly, the example that you gave is something like course expectation versus the expectation of what you are currently in,
Mm-mm.
and the reality that of the course that you're in is not didn't fall in line. I'm just making an assumption here, because that's
Mm.
assuming that the reason why you chose your course is because you decided on it. Like, was it your decision, or was it something of a parent's decision?
Mm.
But if it was your decision, then maybe because you had this idea of like the course that it's something that made you feel like, yes, this is what I really want, talaga. But when you heard it
Okay.
from other people, and it's more of you really you might want to try and handle this, and you may want to do this because it's something that it really speaks to you, then I would say that the choice would be really up to you, whether it will fulfill your or satisfy your end goal. What is your end goal? Do you want to do well, I guess what I mean by end goal is, what do you want to do after you graduate college?
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
That's I cannot straight answer, because again, I don't have I'm not allowed to give advice,
Right. 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 Well, there you go.
and sometimes it'll take
That
a while to answer.
Sorry. Sorry. Can you still hear
Oh,
me?
sorry, you're a bit laggy on my end. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
I
fine.
can again. Sorry.
Same on my end. But okay. So there you have it. That was Coach Tony. I did like a mini scenario just so we know how Coach Tony thinks. And before I let Coach Tony go, I know you have a couple of things that you want to announce and a couple of people you want to say hi
Sure.
to. So I'm giving you the floor.
Sure. Thank you. So, all right. So again, I'd like to shout out to the different coaches that are here. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you so much. Marius, thank you for commenting earlier. I hope I can help you in any way, shape, or form. I'd like to give a shout out to Life Coach Philippines. We have a Facebook page. We're basically a community of professional certified life coaches. And I would also like to announce that we also do life coaching access. So to give you a short brief or a short gist of what it is, life coaching access is our service to the community, and we aim to help individuals experience the process of transformation through the platform of life coaching. So there are different coaches every day and different times who give topics in relation to what we are passionate about, but in regards to who we want to serve. In my case, I would like to serve high school students, college students, and people who might not necessarily enjoy the work that they're doing. So, if you want to journey with me in Life Coaching Access, I am, my access is every Sunday, so tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I'll be hosting it again on those days. And my topic for tomorrow is when was the last time you let your shadow rest? So it's more so the topic of when was the last time you had when was the last time that you put that voice in your head and tell it. And I would also like to announce that we are currently doing a money workshop. So to put it simply, the money workshop is a dig in deep and find the blocks in with regards to your success. If you want to make money for this year, or what are the goals that you want to set for yourself for this year, monetary wise, um,
Mm.
you can here you go. Here's a poster. You can contact Nick Increase to 0917 586 1661 to coach yourself your increase. Right now we are doing this for the entire month of January, and you guys should avail this right now because normally this workshop would cost like 5,000 pesos, but thanks to the generosity of Master Coach A, we are doing this for free. So take your
Wow.
stock right now. Yes,
Nice.
indeed. So yes, of course. And if you want to journey with me as your life coach, through my Facebook page at coach.tony.espiritu, or you can message me at Tony Tonality. I have my personal Facebook. That's my personal Facebook page or personal Facebook profile. Or you can contact me through my email at coach.tony.espiritu@gmail.com. Or if you want to contact me through message or by call, then you can contact me at 0906-2467-333. So I hope I can journey with you with regards to this. Yeah, I think that's it. That's everyone for now. That's it for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Tony.
All right.
Again, this is Coach Tony, a life coach. If you want to reach out to him, feel free to message him here on Facebook or on his email address. Also, check out Life Coach PH on Facebook. They have a conference happening
Mhm.
very, very soon. The link is actually there in the comment section by Coach Candy.
Mhm.
Thank you to all the coaches who
Yes.
watched and supported Coach Tony today. There are a lot of you. Thank you all so much. And of course, thank you so much, Coach Tony, for being on Making a Difference first ever
Thank you
episode of
also.
the year. I really enjoyed our conversation. And I do hope I get
Thank
to
you for
talk to you.
inviting me also.
I do hope I get to
I
talk to
hope
you
so.
more. Yeah, this won't be the
Of
last
course.
time. All right.
No, it won't.
Thanks, Coach Tony.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
All right, so that was Coach Tony, again, he is a life coach, mainly for those high school students, college students, and those who are young professionals. So if you want to message him or any of the other coaches actually that we have watching here today, feel free to reach out to them on Life Coach Philippines. All right. So we are going to go on break, but when we return, we are going to have more coaches to talk to. So I will see you after these few announcements. All right, welcome back to Making a Difference. If you're just tuning in right now, my name is Erica Mison, and Making a Difference is a show created to really inspire and motivate the youth of today. So before the break, the very quick break actually, we had Coach Tony. So he is a life coach, and he usually most of his clients are those who are actually still in high school or in college, or those young professionals. So if you want to reach out to him, feel free to check out Life Coach Philippines. A lot of the coaches watched and supported Coach Tony a while ago. They sent links on the comment section down below. So feel free to check them out. I want to give a shout out to a couple of people because there are a couple of them who are saying hi. I want to say hi to Mika, sorry, Mika and Gemna. I'm so sorry, Mika, if you're still watching. But these girls, if ever you guys need help in, let's say, digital marketing, check out Good Vibes Only Movement. They are an agency that's based in Hong Kong. So these girls, they're from there. Hi again. I'm so sorry, Mika. But Mika and Jamna, hello. Thanks for watching. And who else is here today? Nicole was here a while ago. I'm not sure if she's still here, but she is the host of Sports Watch, which is every Saturday at 11 a.m. to 12:30. I hope I got your time slot right, girl. So she was here a while ago, and I know she was live again today. And also, yes, RJ. I don't know if you're still here also, but hi, RJ. Thanks for watching and congratulations on your engagement. Super happy for you. Okay, so now, before I introduce our next coach, I think this video will actually introduce herself already. So, Tech, can we roll that video, please?
We want to become the best version of ourselves, and there are actually people out there who can help us.
Today, a new movement is coming to life designed to help ignite the fire of corporate Philippines. one story at a
Morning,
time.
boss. Mga boss, gaano ba ka-importante ang tinatawag ng life coach or empowerment coach?
And we are here with Master Transformation Rockstar Miss Cherry Africa.
Life coaching is a profession where you engage your clients in a partnership and you find out what is going in the life of the person, what's going on in your life, what are the obstacles that are preventing you from reaching your highest potentials.
We have rapid techniques that basically enable individuals to reach their highest potentials, at a pace that's quicker than they ever thought possible.
Success always starts with taking that first step, whatever the obstacles might be, but taking that walk through fire.
Hero, ready ka na ba?
Ready na, Coach!
Yes!
Ready na!
Right up!
Whenever we have engaged towards stage, that our people go out extremely engaged, and they go fired up. They go out of that program really fired up, and the giggle in themselves is extremely at a high level, and of course it translates into business results later on.
The lessons that Cherry and their team imparted to us. So I was quite happy. I'm very happy with the output, because I think we really needed to be energized again as a team, and we really needed more creative input so that we feel that we can serve the Happy Skin consumers more.
Thank you to Coach Cherry and her awesome World Stage International team. May you continue keeping the world fired up and ready to go.
Thank you, because you move me, you inspire me, and I think out of all the things you've taught me, thank you for making me feel awesome. You are awesome.
I'd like to introduce to you the one and only Coach Cherry Africa. She is the managing director of World Stage International, and she is the compelling goal setter. Ayan, so we have Coach Cherry with us today on Making a Difference. Hi, Coach Cherry.
Hello, awesome afternoon to you, Erica. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you po? I hope you're doing well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So,
of course, awesome.
It's a
We
very,
feel-
very bright 2021 for all of us. We're all very excited to start our year with a bang.
That's so true po. Grabe, I can I just say the video that I just watched. Actually, usually I try to look at snippets of the videos of my guests so that when I actually watch it live, I get like a live reaction. And I personally got goosebumps na I got Coach Cherry here on Making a Difference. And I'm super excited to have you here on our show po. Thank you so much for...
Hey, thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here, and I think your watchers are very young people. So I will definitely enjoy this.
Ayun po. So, before we get into what you do po as a life and empowerment coach, I just want to know po, how did you get to being a life coach actually? What was it your first career that you had in mind, or did you have to go through a lot until you decided to be an awesome life coach?
Well, I started my career in marketing, for one of the MNCs in the Philippines. And then in the middle of my career, I realized I'm really more, alive and more enlivened when I work with people. So that's when I decided to go more into the people industry, to try and learn it more, to try and expand my knowledge working with people. So that's how it all started. And then eventually, because I lived for 15 years outside of the Philippines, so I did get to learn a lot of different achievement tools related to human peak performance. So that's how I was able to actually get into this industry.
Okay, so maybe we can talk a bit more on World Stage International. So how did that come about po?
Erica, I think that the vision was really to try and awaken the awesome in every individual. So that was basically our mission, our goal is to try and create a lot of, awesome universes no, in workspaces, in people, in teams, in families. So yan yung pinaka-mission namin, no? And then we decided, the mission started in Singapore and then in Malaysia, and I decided to bring it here in the Philippines. And we've been doing a lot of work, most especially with companies and teams in companies and leaders in trying to, bring the soul back to work, ignite the inner fire so that we could actually create more breakthrough stories in companies and in teams.
When did you bring that po to the Philippines? Around what year did you start?
2014, mga ganyan, 2014.
Tagal na rin po. Okay. And you've been helping a lot of companies po. I saw Happy. Actually, I just want to mention a colleague of mine used to work for Happy Skin, and she saw your poster here on Making a Difference, and she said that she could still remember you and how you sound like. So I think you really did make an impact sa kanya.
How you sound like, though, very interesting. Pero yes, I think with Happy Skin, we did walk on glass with a lot of their leaders, no? So that was a very interesting thing. And exciting rin siya kasi ang daming mga young people in that particular team. So it was a very memorable experience even for us.
Okay. So maybe you could walk us through po, because I'm also curious. How do you let's say with Happy Skin or with the other companies that you work with, what were the steps that you had to take with them? Like, they have to go through training with you guys or attend seminars? How many?
There are so many different ways, no, by which you could actually try and help people. Like when you're talking about life coaching, for example, no, you could go into consultancy, you could go into, team building seminars, we could go into many organizational development areas. In respect to our work with companies, usually we will start with focus group discussions to try and find out where the company wants to actually, move towards. What do you want to generate or regenerate as a result of our interaction with you? And so we try and find out what's bothering, for example, or disturbing the companies or the teams from performing to their greatest versions. And from there, we try and come up with different suggestions or recommendations on how you could actually move forward. No, we have a journeys program with companies where we begin, for example, with team awakening workshops or seminars where we try and awaken the consciousness. Ibig sabihin, we're trying to understand, where everyone is coming from. We're trying to unleash or trying to actually bring out, in the open, elephants in the room, things that you really need to talk about, but you refuse to talk about because it just makes people uncomfortable. And we try and awaken them through provocative question and answers, and then through NLP tools and techniques. Now, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. We focus a lot on mindset. Diba? Kasi a lot of interventions will focus on behavior. Kailangan mag-change yung behavior natin, di ba? Kailangan maging energetic tayo. Pero in reality, all of these things are driven by our mindset and our thought processes. So it's so important to understand what's the thought menu of people in teams so that they're able to actually forge forward. Kasi sometimes it can help, pero sometimes gravity rin yan. No? It pulls people back. Now, if they have the wrong mindset or they have degenerative limiting beliefs, we need to be able to understand what's keeping them from moving forward as a team or as an individual.
If you, by the way, to my viewers out there, if you have any questions for Coach Cherry, please feel free to ask. Don't be scared. Coach Cherry doesn't bite naman, so feel free to comment them down below so that we can ask Coach Cherry. So to get to know World Stage International a bit better, we actually have a video po, no, that it's an intro to World Stage International. So maybe we could play that video, please. Yeah. Okay. So while we ayan. There you go. So that was like a very quick intro to World Stage International. Coach Cherry, I'm curious. Even in the your introduction video, there was a there were a couple of parts where people had to walk on something. I can't grasp what that was. Maybe you could explain what it is and why you have them do that. I'm curious lang po.
It's fire, no?
Like,
It's
really,
fire
it's
or
really
it's glass, no? Nakita ninyo yan, fire. So we do fire walking. No, we make people walk on fire. It's a very, very powerful metaphor. It's a very powerful tool to try and awaken, that other hidden part of ourselves that we thought never existed because we've always been afraid. No, so it's very interesting kasi for teams, for leaders, no, cerebrally, we say, oh, hindi ako natatakot, no? I don't have any fears, or I'm very brave. But in reality, if they are actually faced with fire, they get very scared. So it's actually bringing down, I guess, something that is on the head cerebrally and bringing it down to the gut level to try and experience the primal energy of fear. And how are you going to respond out of that fear? Are you going to actually forge forward, stand in the line of fire, and walk with your team? Or are you going to actually turn your back and say, no, hindi naman importante yan, ayaw natin. And bringing those lessons back to the workplace, back to your families, no, it just, awakens and expands the consciousness. And you will be in awe of the many things that you could do after you walk on fire.
Galing. So, of course, Coach Cherry, you've tried that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was
Yes.
what was your experience po with that? Your personal experience.
My
with the
personal
fire?
experience was the very first time I walked on fire was in Singapore. I was still very young then. I wanted to be, I wanted to just improve myself. I wanted to, to try and see what more I can do because I felt like I was there. I was at a dead end of my life, of my career. I didn't know what my goals were. And so when I was in Singapore, as I was trying to discover and rediscover more my passion, I decided to go on fire walking. When Tony Robbins came to Singapore, I attended that seminar. My goal was really just personal transformation. But after I've walked through fire, I realized that I actually have a bigger mission. And that is, if I could actually utilize this power and harness the energy of the Filipinos, and try and bring out more of themselves in every interaction, in every engagement, then we could, achieve even bigger results. With that vision, I went to the States. I took my certification in firewalking, and I actually blended that with my NLP course, my NLP certification. And so with that, I went more into coaching, deep dive coaching. And we've always with my teammates, we call ourselves Team Awesome. We've used a lot of ultimate breakthrough tools like firewalking, glass walking. So what you've seen on the video, Erica, naglalakad din, sa bubog. That's another metaphor that we use. We also use metal bending. We use real arrow, we snap them, and these are all parts of what we do and components of the messages that we wanted to actually share to the world.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting thoughts and ideas. This is actually an eye-opener also for a lot of people. I hope those who are watching get really inspired with today's episode, because today we're just really talking about empowering yourself and as a person. So yeah, Coach, I wanted to actually ask. So you said a while ago that you started out marketing po, no? What was your was there a main reason other than personal development why you wanted to shift out and become a coach?
I think it's really more, I wanted to help other people. I think ultimately, even when I was very young in school, I'm a helper. Diba? I like to listen to people's concerns, issues, problems, and try and provide some solutions. And then as I matured, I realized, it's not your solutions that's going to help other people. It's their own solutions. We all have inner mentors in us, and we have inner wisdom, brought about maybe by our experiences in life, when we read books, and so many other aspects. And if we try and unleash and awaken that, we would by far make better decisions. we would actually become better leaders, we would become better children and better parents. No, in so many aspects of our roles in our lives, we could improve when we try and understand more who we are and bring that out to the world. And so this is basically what I do. I am a sidekick, I am a helper, I am a facilitator, an MC, but ultimately, the empowerment will come from the individual person. So there must be, an ownership for change and transformation for it to happen and for it to be sustained on a long period of time.
Okay, Coach, I have another question actually. So now that we're going through a pandemic, what's it like naman po now? Because syempre we can't have those seminars that we saw in the previous videos. We can't see each other face to face. So what are you doing now po? Now that we're in the pandemic and now that we're actually still under GCQ?
Mhm. Actually, it's very interesting though, because when we've been doing face-to-face interactions 100% prior to pandemic, then the pandemic happened. We had to actually walk on our own fires because as a team, we got lost. No, we didn't know where to go because our context just disappeared. In a heartbeat, and so we had to actually pivot. We have to do transformation. So there were many months where we just try and we resorted ourselves. No, we tried and reignite our mission and our purpose and pivoted. So now we are doing on live. It is online, but we've tried to add a lot of the features or elements that make our workshops truly human, and truly kinesthetic and interactive. We've added that to our online platform. We have now an online, team building, leadership, communication program. So we do that. And coming into 2021, we are also ready to do hybrid, which means a portion will be online and then a portion will be face-to-face, following the parameters of the health protocols, basically. So this is what we do. And so far, last year, we have achieved a tremendous, amount of training requests, and we've basically done a lot of interventions in organizations. We continue to actually play a role in trying to upgrade and uplift whatever it is that we are experiencing right now, to try and provide people with inspiration and with hope that this too shall pass, and the awesome is definitely yet to come.
Yes, that's very true. And speaking of the awesome, I heard that there's going to be a conference. It's called the Awesome Conference. Maybe we can also talk about that. So what is the Awesome Conference?
The COVID, Erica, gave birth, to a dream of actually putting people together and trying to actually deliver a message that can help people. So the Awesome People Conference is a conference for the people, for human beings, to try and awaken their awesome, their awesome mission, their awesome work, diba? Their roles in life, their ambitions. Whatever it is that you have, bring it to the conference and let's humanize that and let's have fun. And of course, the added bonus is that there are people, in different fields, in areas, in different industries, on leadership, on personal development, on sales, on communications, on many, many aspects that can help you actually become better as we try and make sense of what is happening to our world right now. So it is made up of 4 different days, Erica. We're done with 2 days in December. Awesome Teams in December, and then Awesome Life, where we talked a lot about personal development or NLP. And then come January 16, we are going to have Awesome Communicator. It's very exciting, no? Erica, kasi we're going to learn here how to actually turn our amateur skills in communication and make it more professional. No, how to build the perfect context, the platform, the online platform, how to deliver the right message, and how to actually be appealing, to the market so that they listen to you. And then on the 20th of January, we end the conference with Awesome Leaders, where we've invited a lot of leaders, especially those who have gone through crisis, to try and share their breakthrough stories so that we could get inspired as we begin 2021.
So, Coach, can anyone join the conference? How do we sign up for that?
Yes, any human being can join the conference, from any part of the world. And I guess, as long as tweens even, teenagers, young adolescents, millennials, Gen X's, Gen Z's, even baby boomers can join everybody. And it's going to be a very, very alive, no, on live experience for you. And how do you sign up? Just it's the name of our company's World Stage International. So just try and reach out to us. You could find us in Facebook, in YouTube, and you could actually, you could sign up there. We have also a website. No, it's worldstageinternational.com.ph, and Awesome People Conference. The name of the conference is Awesome People Conference.
Ayan. So there is an upcoming conference called the Awesome Conference, and we actually have more videos here in Making a Difference. We like showing photos and videos from our guests. So we have a couple more videos to talk about naman the Awesome Conference. So tech team, can we show that video, please?
Hey, awesome!
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 Hey, awesome! Hey, awesome!
Hey, awesome!
Hey, awesome! Hey, awesome!
Welcome to the Awesome People Conference.
I'd like to invite you to join us in the Awesome People Conference.
This is not just your ordinary conference.
It's going to be huge and it's going to be great and epic.
We have brought awesome people from all over the world with wisdom, courage, and inspiration.
Bring tons of energy and get ready to be even more awesome.
There you go. So those were short videos on the Awesome Conference. It will still start. It started December, and then it will start again on January 16. If you want to join the conference, you can check out World Stage International. They have their own website. They're also on Facebook. Feel free to reach out to them. So it's very exciting. I saw a lot of familiar faces there. A couple of V81 Radio's hosts are actually on that video. So again, this is a really exciting conference, and I hope the viewers today can, make time and join the conference, since it will be done naman po online. So there. Now, today is more on a resolution today. So I want to actually ask Coach Cherry, what are goals and why important na wala ng konti?
Erica, before we go,
goals,
destination. And so it's so important that you know where to go. Otherwise, you'll be doing things, but they don't really mean anything, diba? So parang you're just throwing wild shots to unknown direction. So, your goals will tell you which direction to take and tell you which direction not to take. So they're very, very important. And I truly believe I'm in goal setting, but it is a process. It is not just a one-time off that you do every January 1. You commit to a resolution and then you forget it. So it has to actually be a daily, it has to be maintained on a daily basis para siya matupad, no?
Okay. And pero Coach, how what would you advise to us? How can we maintain those goals? Because I'm sure you heard po a while ago with Coach Tony, that's another issue. People tend to set goals, but then usually nawawala sila throughout the process, or they just forget about them. So is there a certain way or is there a certain process that we need to do in order for us to maintain the goals that we set?
Erica mentioned, minsan nakakalimutan natin, no? And maybe because of the many things that we need to remember, human beings are probably not the best in terms of memories. And so when we start our goal setting process, the most important thing is to write it down. We have to write it down. no? And we write it down, pero as I mentioned, it's a process, no? It has to be maintained every day. So you write it down because you need, why? Because it provides you with a compelling future. Diba? Kasi there will be so many things that's going to actually frustrate your goals, so many things going to frustrate, every attempt to go towards your goals. And if you don't write it down, you will forget it, you will get distracted, or you will just say, never mind, it's not worth chasing. Writing it down makes you remember, and reading it every day, makes you remember it in the subconscious mind. So you don't even have to think about it. The moment it becomes part of your unconscious programming, you're just waking up and you're just doing it. No, you want to get to that point na hindi mo na kino-convince yung conscious thought mo na sumali sa process. Otherwise, you will always find yourself sabotaging your goal. Bukas na lang, or hindi ko naman siya gustong gawin di ba? You will always find all the reasons and explanations why it's not worth pursuing. So it is so important. It provides you the compelling future. It also tells you the final destination. No, pag sinulat mo yan, it becomes very, very clear in the mind, where you want to go. Parang Erica, I always remember ang metaphor ko dyan. Kunwari, let's say for example, you're going, meron kang, two shipping, vessels. One is a yacht or a luxurious ship, and that's going to Korea, for example. And one is a fishing boat that's going to Japan. You want to go to Japan. What are you going to take? You're going to take the fishing boat, even though it's probably more inconvenient. But a lot of people, pag tinignan nila, doon ako sa yacht, diba? So you will go there, but you will get to Korea. You're not going to get your destination. So knowing your goal, knowing why you want to achieve that goal, and writing it down help a lot in the process of goal seeking, not goal setting anymore. Goal setting is when you write it. Goal seeking is when you seek your goal, which is a daily process. So write it, make it compelling. Put a lot of emotion to it. Put some verbs into it. Tell yourself what's going to be my word for this year, and make sure that's actually going to you mesh your thought menu into action, and make the distance as short as possible. No, para talagang mabilis siyang ma-achieve yung mga little milestones, mabilis ma-achieve, and reward yourself in the middle of the journey.
Okay. You know what, my dad specifically, so both my parents, but my dad specifically would tell us always to write it down, because it really helps you remember. I really agree, and I stand by that. All my notes in school were handwritten. It's very important to those watching, especially I know the younger generation, uso na ngayon, pwede naman sa cellphone or computer, but it's really best to write things down and then put it where you can see them, no, Coach Cherry.
Yes.
So
yeah, when you write, I guess, Erica, when you write it down, your memory remembers it, diba? Your mind remembers it. Tsaka kasi iba yung texture, yung tactile experience of writing it down with a pen and paper, and of course just putting it on your texting yourself. So I guess in that aspect, it becomes a very, very kinesthetic approach. Ang tendency kasi natin, di ba rin, kunwari nag-write tayo ng goal, tapos kunwari by February hindi na natin na-meet yung goal, forget na natin siya. But missing goals is actually part of the goal-seeking process. There will be so many. The moment we commit ourselves to a certain goal, the first thing that can go wrong, goes wrong. It is the universe way of really trying and testing your resolve. Kaya nga, New Year's resolution, it tests your resolve. There must be a strong resolve and determination to actually finish it. Kobe Bryant said, diba, we do not finish in the middle. We only finish at the end. Kaya lang mahaba. Kailangan patient tayo.
Ayan. That's another thing we need to have. Patience is a virtue, everyone. It really is. Ayan. So, a while ago, Coach Cherry mentioned the word goal setting. And we're actually going to get to that with another special guest. But before that, we're going to go on a very, very quick break. And after the break, we're going to come back with Coach Derry and our special guest, which I will introduce after the break. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
We'll be back shortly, making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, Manila. Pagpatak ng 7, dapat lahat nakatutok sa amin. Catch these programs at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Talk Shop Asia Global, USA Edition with Rolly Pagaspas and Rosario Cajucom Bradbury. Home Not Alone, Sounds from Home with Papa Gio and Freedom in Christ with Felson. It's all about entrepreneurship, entertainment, and enlightenment. Back-to-back-to-back programs at 7. LA at 7. LA at 7. Exclusively on V81 Radio, Los Angeles. Kabayan, nahuhumsik ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang Tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever. Now back to Making a Difference, only here on V81 Radio, Manila.
Welcome back to Making a Difference. So today's first ever episode of the year of Making a Difference has been very interesting. It's been very fun and very fulfilling because today we are talking about your goals. And I know super uso ngayon ang New Year's resolution. So a while ago, in the beginning of the show, actually, I asked the viewers if they have any plans or any goals set for the year. I saw a couple of comments and I read them a while ago. So if you're still watching, feel free to comment down what you have planned for this year, what your goals are, what are your New Year's resolutions, even if it's just, drinking 8 glasses of water a day or working out every morning. Parang yun ata yung New Year's resolution ko. But anyway, feel free to comment them down below and we are gonna get to those comments later. Now, before the break, we had Coach Cherry. So she is a compelling goal setter. She is the managing director of the World Stage International. So we got to talk to her about, of course, World Stage International and what she does as a life coach, as an empowerment coach. And it's really inspiring to hear words from her. And also before the break, we talked a bit about goals. So we're going to dive deeper into that in this segment. So I'd like to call back Coach Cherry on the screen. Hi, Coach Cherry. Ayan. Hello. Hi, Coach Cherry. So a while ago, I mentioned that we have another special guest for today, and that is none other than Coach Cherry's friend, Miss Jinbi Go. She is the president of BPI Family Savings Bank. Hello, Miss Jinbi.
Hello, good afternoon to all the listeners and viewers of V81. I'm glad to be here. Erica, thank you for the invitation. And of course, to my friend, the rock star herself, Coach Cherry, thank you for having me. It's nice to start the new year thinking about goals and setting goals. And as Cherry said, seeking goals. So glad to be here.
Hey, I'm very excited to have Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi here because we're gonna dive deeper into the whole goal setting. And by the way, Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi are gonna be taking questions. If there are any questions from the viewers out there, feel free to comment them down below. And we are gonna ask Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi your questions. Now that we have Miss Jinbi here, again, she's the president of BPI Family Savings Bank, and she's more on the financial side of goals. And I know the younger generation, especially my generation, the very young professionals, they're very interested now in, especially when the pandemic hit. All I would hear is that, we have to start saving up for our future. You have to have extra money in the bank just in case something like this happens. So I actually have a couple of questions in mind for Miss Jinbi. How old is there a certain age that we need to start setting financial goals, or not necessarily?
Erica, that's a very good question, and my response to that is as soon as possible. Okay, I think it's really very good that, as you mentioned, during the pandemic, a lot of millennials like yourself had really woken up, to really think about their financial status, financial goals, particularly since pre-pandemic. You can hear people posting and saying YOLO, right? You only live once, and you see people talk about where they have been, which place they have finally explored, which restaurant they have tried, a new drink or their OOTD, the outfit of the day. All of these things had been the pre-pandemic mindset. But once we entered the crisis of the pandemic, there was a sudden shift in mindsets among the youth, and including the millennials. I think it's a recognition and a realization that, with this crisis, we have to go back to what's essential, to what is critical. And because people had started to also reduce their income capacity, businesses had closed or slowed down, right? Some have even lost their employment. At the height of the pandemic, that was in April, unemployment rate was at 17%. And the latest report that we have is that unemployment rate is still at 10%. So these realities are hard realities that really made people think about their priorities in life. So from YOLO, now the millennials have woken up, and the hashtag now is not hashtag YOLO, but hashtag woke, right? So I think it's good that you have asked that question as to when you should start thinking about financial goals. And that's why I said as soon as possible. And for us, all of us, like Sherry's, our own Gen Xers, who probably are still also listening in this radio station, they are parents of young kids or teenagers. Now is the time to teach your kids how to set financial goals. I had been fortunate enough during our time, and I'm sure si Coach Cherry makaka-relate dito. We have piggy banks. Uso po ba yun sa inyo, Erica? Piggy banks. And every day, whenever we have coins, di ba, binibigyan tayo ng gifts ng mga tito, tita natin, ninong-ninangs, aginaldo. We immediately put it in the piggy bank, and then we get a high on the, we carry it. We kind of estimate it by the weight of the piggy bank. The less clinking it is, the better. So for us, when we were young, when we were kids, that's how we set our financial goal. How heavy your piggy bank is. And then as you ensued through your life stage, you move from one life stage to the other, yung piggy bank mo nare-replace na ng bank account. I am also quite fortunate. I don't know about you, that during our time, meron kaming Happy Savers Club. And we had that in a passbook. And my parents opened that passbook for me. And that became my financial goal. When I was a teenager, how do I make sure that my passbook would keep on increasing in amount? And then as I moved from being a teenager after having that passbook, I knew that I was going to graduate soon. Ang naging financial goal ko was find a good paying job. Right? I don't know if that's still the same thing with you, Erica, and the others, to find that job that they would pay well, that would allow them to grow as a person. That financial goal has been replaced from passbook to a good job, a good paying job. Then as you move towards your career, nare-replace yan ng own car, have an own car. I remember Coach Cherry and I were in the same, our first job was in the same company. And that's where I met Coach Cherry. And we were fortunate enough that our jobs allowed us to get our first car. And I remember my first car was a Lancer. I was even asked to be a Lancer spokesperson. And that was to me, a financial goal to have my first car. And I was able to buy it from my own pay and my own savings. And then when I was about to get married, syempre with my husband, our financial goal changed from own car to having our own home, right? And so at that time, I also felt that our pay will not be enough to buy our own home. So what to do? Again, that allowed us to think about the activities that we need to do to achieve that goal. So again, going back to your question, as soon as possible. And I believe that the financial goals will change over the course of your life stage. And you have to be prepared to keep on changing your financial goals so that towards that, once you finally reach one of those goals, you move on to the next, right? So it becomes your parang point of destination every now and then. To Coach Cherry's point earlier, it's a destination. Once you reach that destination, where do you go next? And don't be too hard on yourself too. Kanina, you asked about Coach Cherry's how to get to your goal, diba? And she said, write it down. I so believe that. And I have my own thoughts about that. But let me allow you to ask follow-up questions because you might have follow-up questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I actually do. Follow-up question with that, Miss Jinbi. So maybe you could tell us, why is it important, especially now, why is it so important to set your own financial goals?
I think everyone must have their own financial goals because you don't want to live through life as if you were a zombie. Diba? Uso ngayon ang zombie. Ang zombies, you don't want to go through life without a direction, right? Why are you waking up every day to work? Think about that question. Why are you a radio anchor, Erica? What's in it? You just enjoy it, and then what do you do with your what you finally earn, right? You have to set a goal so that every day you look forward to waking up because there's something more meaningful and compelling in your life. And I must say that a financial goal doesn't have to be an amount. I go back to, how do we define a financial goal? More often than not, people set financial goals in terms of amounts. Like, I want to have savings of 1 million, right? I have to have stocks of this much. But what's important is, why do you want to have 1 million in your bank account? When you set goals, it has to be, and we were taught this in our first job, it has to be SMART. What does SMART stand for? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound, right? So if you just say 1 million, is that specific enough? Why would you need 1 million for? Right? To me, it has to be something that would benefit you as a person and the others around you. In all our studies, when you ask our clients what is their aspiration is not an amount of money. It's having their own home, having their own car, having their own business. And those are 3 very important goals in life. So I think we lost Erica.
I think
there you go. Okay, Erica. So again, I go back to where we were because I was saying that the aspirations or the goal, be specific, must be concrete, and must have impact not just on yourself, but on the people around you. The people you especially your loved ones, your family. And we've seen that in all our studies. in all our market research surveys, the top goals and top aspirations of Filipinos would be number one, own their own home, own their own car, and third, have their own business. So that's how specific. Of course, it has to be time bound. When do you want to achieve those? And then it has to be attainable. Okay.
Hi. Okay, I heard, I was able to hear what Miss Jinbi said. Okay, so yeah, let's move forward to more of the goal setting part naman. So I have a couple of questions listed down. This is actually for both Coach Cherry and Miss. First question that I have here: how communicate to your team? Okay, because right now both Coach Cherry and Miss is handling people. So how do you communicate your goals to your team?
So what's the
Erica,
question?
can you say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry. Okay, so the question: how should you communicate your goals to your team?
Did you get the question, Jane?
No, I just got the how.
How should you communicate your goals to the team?
Okay.
That's the question.
Yeah.
You want to go, Jane?
You can go ahead. Check. Go ahead, Coach.
How should you communicate your goals to the team? I think na tayo dalawa na lang, Jane. Si Erica. How should you communicate your goals to the team? With passion, diba? With energy, with intensity, and to have a kind of clarity where people are not going to get confused. It's very clear where they will go. Diba? Kasi sometimes when it is very confusing, when there are so many, ways to actually get there, or they don't even know where, it's very uncertain in front. They don't know what to do next. So it sounds nice, it sounds, lofty, it sounds profitable, but I don't know what to do next. So it's very important that we try and bring it down to molecular level, to the granular level of action. No, what is a goal without action? So you need to act on it every day. So I guess my answer to that is number one, with a lot of strong positive energy. No, don't make it tiring, don't make it painful, don't make it too difficult, such that, and too huge, I guess, that it's very daunting to them. The second one is try and, of course, bring it down to the level of action. What is it that we need to do today? And what is it that we don't need to do today? So that every day, inch by inch, we get towards somewhere closer to the goal. I call that positive. Positive to me is not just, frou-frou, I feel good. Positive means that I am taking the right direction, the right step towards the right direction. And when I am moving forward, I am positive.
I agree with Cherry, Erica. Clarity of communication is critical to communicating your goal. And also that it is understandable. As Cherry said, it's in bite size and something that they believe is achievable. Because if it's too lofty, they get demotivated and demoralized as well. So again, I go back to the goal must be smart, which is attainable or achievable. It's relevant to the times. And let me just add to that context in terms of exactly how I communicate the goals to my team. I usually start with a planning session in the middle of the year wherein we review the business, the state of the business, and then determine what we've learned the past year that would allow us to address the challenges that we had faced or to learn from successes that we had been able to achieve during the year. Those key learnings, as we would call them, would be the basis for our goals and plans for the following year. I always believe that for a company or an organization, there has to be buy-in. And when there is buy-in, people naturally embrace that. And so when we do our planning, we involve key people who are critical to the buy-in process. And so that's part of our communication. Part of the communication is buy-in of the people and involvement of the people in the goal setting. During the start of the year, we will have a kickoff or sales rally for the rest of the organizations so that they would know what the plans and the goals are that we had set for the year. And then part of that would be ironing out the details of the execution and the programs so that they themselves would know how they can achieve their own goals. So again, involvement and engagement of the people across the organization is critical to communicating the goals. And in that process, they also are able to ask questions, clarify, and say from their own experience, what would be the challenges to achieving those goals for the year. Because they are in the front lines, they would know what it would take to get things done. And so it's an iterative process. Okay? And that's when they know that they are heard, they are listened to, and that they are involved in the process. All throughout the year, after the kickoff, after the sales rally, we monitor our goals very, very closely. So every day, we have certain metrics that we monitor, whether it's volumes or SKUs for some organizations or companies. We monitor that every day relative to our goals. Every week, we have meetings among the key stakeholders and assess where we are relative to our month's goals. And then every month, we have board meetings and we report to the board how well we're doing in our achievement of our goals. So again, part of the communication is tracking of performance relative to our goals. So again, that's just how we are able to crystallize how we can pursue our goals with more realism and greater potential to achieve.
GB, just us.
We'll be back shortly, making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, Manila. Pagpatak ng 7, dapat lahat nakatutok sa amin. Catch these programs at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Talk Shop Asia Global, USA Edition with Rolly Pagaspas and Rosario Cajucom Brad Perry. Home Not Alone sounds from home with Papa Gio and Freedom in Christ with Felson. It's all about entrepreneurship, entertainment, and enlightenment. Back-to-back programs at 7. LA at 7. LA at 7. Exclusively on V81 Radio, Los Angeles. Kabayan, nahuhomesick ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang Tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever. Now back to Making a Difference, only here on V81 Radio, Manila.
Okay, welcome back to Making a Difference. I hope you all are enjoying the conversation that we are having with Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi. So before the break, we were actually talking about how as a leader, how can they communicate their own goals to their team. So I hope you all heard their answers to that question. I'd like to call back Coach Cherry and Miss Jinby back on screen because I have a follow-up question for that. Hi, Coach Cherry. Hi, Miss Jinby.
Hello, yes.
Hi, Erica.
We missed you for a while, Erica.
I know. It was such a good question. I heard most of them naman. So I hope the viewers heard more than what I heard. But this
naging Gen X yung radio show. So parang kami ano.
But it's fine. It's totally okay. But I have a follow-up question for that, no? So how can you both, as a leader, inspire naman a goal to your team? How do you usually do that?
I think inspiration is actually more than motivation. When you talk about motivation, di ba, may expiration date. And for example, after a kickoff, Jinby did mention, you try and, organize the team towards a certain coherent end goal and destination. We do that in a kickoff. But then after a while, when the emotions have gone down, it expires, no? The energy expires. And hence, it is the responsibility of the leader to try and bring back and ignite this energy, to be a game changer, a mood shifter, to try and shake a little bit when people are actually, frustrated or bored or tired because they have encountered a huge obstacle, to try and bring them back to the goal, no? Try and make them, look into the goal, inspire, energize. I think that's one of the most important responsibilities of a leader, to try and bring in the right resourceful, useful emotions so that people will be, looking at the right goal again, no? So marami kasing nagdi-disturb at nagdi-distract sa atin towards the goal, and because the journey is very, very long, no? I mean, in companies, for example, it's at least 1 year, no? In our life, there are quarters, there are many, many years, no? So mahaba ang journey natin kapag hindi tayo very clear sa goal natin, o kapag mabilis tayo masway, hindi tayo centered, hindi tayo grounded, there's a huge chance that you will rock and you will just say, no, I give up. I don't even like it anyway. So we are basically, just reminding them, energizing them. That's one of the big things that we need to do as leaders.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I agree with Sherry that the leader has a major role to play in sustaining the energy so that the rest of the team would continue to go after the goal. Imagine you have 1 year to challenge the rest of the team. It's very hard to actually sustain energy all throughout. And so for me, and then again, I would provide some examples of how we do this. Number one, I think it's important to model it. As a leader, you must model that energy. Kung pupunta ka ng work, already you're feeling fatigued and tired at the start of the day pa lang. Just imagine how the rest of the team would feel. And so as leaders, I believe that we must manage our energy. And I know that Sherry talked about this in the first conference, I think, managing your energy. How do you manage your energy? For myself as a leader, the first thing I do in the morning is to actually, aside from pray, is to go out for a run and exercise. And that exercise allows me to clear my mind and have that, muster that enough energy to go to work ready and raring to go. So that 30-minute exercise to me is very, very important. Of course, sleep, eating well, again, managing your energy as a leader is important. So you model it, okay? All throughout the day, you must, whenever you are interacting with people, you must muster enough energy to be able for them to feel that you're as excited as them in working every day. And I think that is quite difficult to do, but every leader must do that. Second is stories. I believe in the power of stories, to get that kick every time I have, whenever I'm given the opportunity to speak to my team. I actually provide them stories, my own personal stories or stories that I have come across with that could be an inspiration to them. And the stories must be relevant to what they're currently facing. And so stories allow them to have inspiration that what they're feeling is an acknowledgement that, it is not easy what they're faced with, but others have done it. Others have hurdled those challenges. So again, stories of heroism, stories of overcoming challenges, I think is very important. Third would be recognizing them and gamifying the entire the pursuit of goals. In my organization, we have this what you call game of loans, and every month we recognize the top teams that were able to achieve and hurdle their goals. And every month it's usually different, and we have a tally sheet. And then at the end of the year, we'll have the major champion of the entire year. So every month we recognize that's how we sustain energy. Okay, so every month there is an opportunity for the different teams to win and to be recognized. And then also in our back, we have what you call the Heroes Awards. We recognize people who have really given their best during the year in terms of client relationship, client management, project innovations, whether it's a project for clients or a project for employees. It's Heroes Awards, and then eventually an Excellence Awards that they can, look forward to. So sustaining the energy and the motivation is critical also by gamification and rewards and recognition. And as I mentioned earlier, tracking actual performance relative to the goals, right? Every week, every month. And then telling them, na-achieve natin to, nakaya natin i-achieve for this month. Let's go for it again for the next month. And the tracking must also be not just versus your goals, but how well you're doing versus the industry, right? Are you improving your market position, your market share? That's another gauge of how well you're able to sustain the energy. Those are just some of the examples, actual examples that I do to inspire the team.
Okay, so those are actually really good insights on what Coach Terry and what Miss Jundy does to really inspire their team. There's actually a question here by Patrick Lee. And he said, learning a lot this afternoon. A question for both Coach Terry and Miss Jindy. What is the first step to establishing a successful career, especially for millennials like me, who might not yet be sure of what we want to do in life? This is a very common question for young professionals. I hear this question a lot. Young professionals, there are some that are still trying to figure out what they want to do, actually, especially now during the pandemic. So what could you advise to Mr. Patrick Lee? So this is for both Coach Cherry and Lee.
I guess you have to start with what you're passionate about, because you wanted to involve yourself, your whole body. You're going to dedicate that. And you want to make sure that you're going to give in, you're there full on. So what is it that you're passionate about? And then it doesn't end with passion. There's also skills, no? What you are very great at. Are you great at your passion? So siguro, no? I'm passionate about cooking, but, I don't cook good food. So then it's not going, no one will buy your message. No? So there must be consumption for your message. And the third one is it going to provide you your economic engine? So that's the hedgehog, no? The principle of the hedgehog. So you try and look for the intersection that provides you a beginning, a place to begin with, and to have the flexibility and the curiosity and openness to try and look into many, aspects. I guess if you commit yourself to the job, you try and look at many aspects, many other departments where you're not connected in, and see if you're passionate about that. We need to have a learning disposition, a curious disposition, but always begin from something that you want to do, not what others want to do. No, so and that is a surefire way to actually make you commit full on, and the rest is going to just be unearthed or unlocked as you move through your journey.
Yeah, I agree with Sherry. The first, the start is really thinking self. It's a self examination of what drives you and what you're passionate about. I think any starting professional should go through that examination, self examination, and then ask yourself whether there are opportunities out there for you to practice what you're passionate about. There are, of course, some challenges that sometimes our parents, I remember my parent telling me, oh, okay, if you want to be a ballet dancer, you know that that's not a career that will last for a long time, right? So when I was 12 or 13, I was invited to be a ballet, to be part of the Ballet Philippines company of dancers. And then my mom said, are you sure? I will support you if that is what you're sure about, but let me just tell you the realities of that career. And so there is that self-examination, what you're passionate about, and also how you see yourself moving forward. And you know, hard as it may be, that passion will not allow me to eventually, over the long term, sustain what I would want, Patrick, aside from on yourself all along. And so would Sherry, where I felt myself, I would go, and her husband. Again, I pursued my MBA. And then after MBA, I wasn't really still sure at the time what I would want to do. And imagine, I was already in MBA and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. But I said, okay, I will try real estate. So I joined Ayala Land. Then after 3.5 years, my former boss in P&G asked me if I would, and my friend Liel Gonzalez, I think Liel is watching us as well. She asked me if I would be interested in a banking career. And then boom, that's when I felt I was in my zone. Okay. So it doesn't come to you immediately. It may not come to you immediately. Be kind to yourself. Life is about journeying and discovering yourself and what you're passionate about, and then eventually embracing opportunities that may come your way to discover where you are really meant to be. So I'm sure that this is probably, it's been the longest staying, I've been in the banking industry since 2000, it's been 20 years, and I still wake up every day excited, passionate, knowing that I am, as your radio show would call it, making a difference. And I believe that is how I am able to drive that passion in my career, because I know that I can make a difference in the lives of the people I'm with, particularly our clients. So again, to Patrick, it's a full year. It's always a self-discovery. Don't be too harsh on yourself.
Yeah. So it's really normal for all of us to really go through. We all have different journeys. Some of us may figure it out right away. Some of us may be stuck. So it's totally normal. Basing on what Coach Cherry and Ms. Jinbi just said, it's totally normal as long as you find what you're passionate about. And, you know, hopefully you too could make a difference, just like Coach Cherry and Ms. Jinbi. Today has been such a very inspiring episode, and I just want to read. There are two comments here that I want to read out. One is from Angie Go Flamiano. How fortunate are we to be learning from two really awesome women, Coach Cherry and Jinbi. Thank you po, Miss Angie, for that comment. And then another one from Tabawan Bongao, frequent viewer of Making a Difference. Congratulations to all, Ma'am Erica, Coach Tony, Coach Cherry, and Ma'am Jinbi. A very inspiring and informative show, especially at this very challenging times we are all into right now. More power to you all. Mabuhay. So again, this has been really an inspiring episode, and it's such a great episode to kickstart the new year. And I hope everybody here, those who are watching, learn from all the coaches today. But before I let Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi go, maybe you could give your last advice to the viewers out there when it comes to goal setting and really pursuing your goals and your passions?
I want to just add on to what GB said and what you said, Erica. No, life is a journey. It is a long, long journey. And at the end of our journey, diba, we realize there's nothing more to achieve. And that is basically the end of our life. So, with every breath that we take, there's always a new breath the next day, and a new breath, and a new breath. And so let's enjoy the process. Let's enjoy the journey. Create goals with every goal posts. And it may change, it may shift. Now we are, in different phases of our lives. We have different goals and different destinations. And as we try to discover more about who we are, and that's also part of the process, we're able to actually pivot a little, change our goals a little. And that means that we're growing. Growth is all part of human development. So I want to, just encourage everybody to set their goals. Goal setting is one of the most important personal development tools that we have. It gives us a compelling future. It tells us the destination for a particular phase of our journey, I guess. And it makes us, as what Jean said, borrowing her term, excited to wake up every day. Without goals, there's no destination, there's no direction. So we are just really just going everywhere. And we don't like that. We don't want our energies to be scattered. We want our energies to be composed, to be full, to be head on, heart, head, heart, gut, everything is together. And we're gonna have fun, I guess, especially for the young ones. Have fun, make it easy, as what the fair walking community would say. Make it easy. It's not that hard. Even if we had to forge through fire, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, let me also take this opportunity to reinforce what we have been discussing all along throughout this afternoon, the importance of goal setting, and put it in the context of purpose. Life must be lived with purpose. And for me, making a difference, as your radio show would say, is a very compelling purpose. And when you make a difference, make sure you make a difference not just on your own self, but on other people's lives. And that is what makes life meaningful. As you wake up every day, when you go to work or go to your respective businesses, think about how you could make this day worth living. What would you want to achieve for the day? And how is this aligned with the purpose that you had set for yourself in this life? Goals are shorter term in nature and must be set. And as we mentioned earlier, it changes depending on your life stage, depending on what's relevant in your life right now. But purpose is a more long-term view of your life, and your goals must also be aligned on that purpose. There's so much more to talk about that, and I take this opportunity as well to invite all of you to the Awesome People Conference. The discussions had been extremely fruitful and meaningful and insightful. The past two conferences that I've attended has really been life-changing. I drew a lot of insights from the speakers. And the next two, I'm also excited to be attending. And the last one, which is the Awesome Leader, I'm fortunate to have been invited by Coach Sherry. So I look forward to having the viewers also join us in the Awesome People Conference.
There we go. So thank you so much, Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi, for being on today's episode on Making a Difference. You have inspired a lot of my viewers today, and myself as well. We've learned a lot from you, both also to Coach Tony. He just stepped out, but he was backstage. He was watching the whole time. But thank you again, Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi. And I hope to meet you also in person when it's all safe. That would be really great. So take care, Coach Cherry and Miss Jinbi. Talk to you soon.
Happy New Year, Erica.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Have an awesome year.
Yes. And thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
There you go. So that was Coach Cherry and Miss Jimby. So again, Coach Cherry is the managing director of World Stage International, and she is a life coach. And then you have Miss Jinbi Go. She is the president of BPI Family Savings Bank. Today has been a very fruitful episode. We've extended actually, which is really, really great. And I see a lot of your comments. A lot of you learned so much from Coach Tony, Coach Cherry, and Miss Jinbi, and that's really great to hear. And I also saw people who commented their goals for this year, and that's really great. So I hope you learned about goal setting today and how to maintain those goals throughout the year. So always remember, it's no one's perfect. We all go through different journeys. If you're feeling stuck, that's totally okay. As long as you, sabi nga ni Coach Cherry, write down your goals. Very, very important to write down. So before I officially end the show, I would just like to say, again, Happy New Year to everyone. We're in the new year, and I'm so excited for this 2021, especially for Making a Difference. We have more shows, more exciting shows, and another exciting season for this year. So I am very, very grateful also to V81 Radio for giving me this opportunity to still continue on with Making a Difference. Shout out sa mga tech team ng V81 Radio. We have Ate Din, Kuya Jason, Kuya Michael. Salamat sa inyong mga tulong. And also, hi to Sir Raleigh, Sir Charlie, and Sir Rolly, who I haven't seen in the longest time. I hope to see you all very soon. Don't forget, we have other shows pa here on V81 Radio. We have so much, not just here in Manila, but we also have in Los Angeles. And I am happy to announce that we are opening in Bacolod and in Hong Kong this year. So stay tuned for that. Please follow us. That's V81 Radio on Facebook. And then, of course, Making a Difference. Please don't forget to follow us, Making a Difference, on Facebook and on Instagram as well. So that is it for today's episode. Again, I hope you learned so much as much as I did. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode, which is next week. What else? What are my reminders? Yes. Okay. Don't forget to stay safe. Continue to wear your face masks, face shields. You guys have to be extra careful right now this year. Please be careful and stay safe, everyone. I will see you next week, same time, same place. Bye, everyone.
The program for the millennials that will showcase young professionals' worth, aspirations, and successes in doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Making a difference. Making a difference. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erica Mizon. Together with her cool millennials, they will be making a difference every Saturday, 3 p.m. Philippine time. Only here on V81 Radio, Manila. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy, your all hits, all Pinoy digital radio station in South Manila. This is V81 Radio.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan.